I was mediating last week an IT dispute, and they have built into the contract a cedar mediation clause, which is a great way of actually being a catalyst to get people to agree to mediate. So in lots of long-term contracts, whether it's infrastructure, construction, IT contracts, all of those kind of complex projects, to have in a model clause which provides for mediation is a great way of actually getting parties into a strategic discussion sooner rather than later. And it may be a kind of iterative process towards resolution. And in fact, someone I was speaking to last week was telling me that in the Nordic areas, they're now baking in long-term contracts, they're actually baking in the kind of proviso for ongoing third-party facilitation in all long-term contracts. They need to make sure, of course, that they're not closing the door to more formal routes to dispute resolution. So they don't want to close the door to the court or close the door to arbitration. So they need to make sure that the escalation provisions of a clause, allow them, if they need to get an injunction, if they need to, if they're making a claim for a debt. So they don't want to find something that's going to drag them back, where someone can use it strategically to not pay, or indeed, if someone's taking your intellectual property and you need to go quickly to the court, you don't want to have any kind of clause that's a bar to you being able to exercise those rights. And I was probably 10 years ago working on a big infrastructure project where I worked with the clients for over 2 years. And so I'd be going to meet with them every month, every 6 weeks. And those are quite fun projects as a mediator, because you get to know the clients, and actually you can really help them work much better as teams. So it is about making their negotiations much smoother and bringing them together in a much more effective way. So I think that for long-term contracts, we've had several attempts over 30 years at bringing dispute review boards, all kinds of different iterations of bringing people together. But I think that the ideas are coming around again. How can we make them more effective? And I think it is about that engagement, having your negotiating coach on side who is basically gets to know the project too, and gets to know the people, and that's a big thing of you, and has the right expertise to kind of work with the complexity.